What's going on, my trainer club? We have the new Community Day Pokemon announced in Pokemon Go, so I'm going to help you start getting some top tips to help you get prepped for what's coming in August. So welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to be checking out the new Community Day Pokemon, which is definitely, did I say definitely, something that you need to do. So we are going to help you get prepped in my top tips to be able to get you ready for this Community Day. And I'm going to do a little bit different tips than I typically do because I've kind of reanalyzed what's most important leading up to the event. So I'm going to get you prepped, ready to go right now. But before I get into it, if you wanted one of my Japanese t-shirts in honor of the Yokohama event, it is going to be limited edition, exclusive. It is at thetrainerclub.com. You can check it out right now. And then any of my other gear, including my pins. So let's get into it right now. August 3rd, the place you need to be is in a park with densely populated stops because we are going to get Ralts for Community Day, which I am super excited, which means that we can then evolve into Gallade or into the Gardevoir. So we have two different options. And it's definitely going to be something that you want to do, right? It's going to be from 4 to 7 p.m. with 1/4 the amount of egg distance. I remember the XP was for the last event. I was like, oh my gosh, are they going to do the triple Stardust catch and then lead right into the Yokohama Stardust event, which would be crazy, something that all of us would extremely benefit. But it's going to be 1/4 the amount of egg hatch distance. So I have a bunch of 10Ks that I'm pretty sure I'm going to clear out for the Yokohama event so I can get the 2Ks, and then I'll try to stack up on the 10Ks afterwards to be able to then utilize it for the Stardust event, right? Because that's why I'm saving up my 10Ks. But the quarter hatch distance is insane.
All right, guys, so as far as the egg hatch goes with the quarter distance, I just want to do a quick overview with you guys so you guys know what's coming. You can kind of prep for how many incubators you may need if you need to purchase coins or whatever that is. So for the regular incubators, for the 2 kilometers, it's going to be 0.5 kilometers because it's 1/4. For 5, it's going to be 1.25. That's amazing. I love hatching those 5Ks out of my bag. And then the 7K is going to be 1.75. Great if you want to start stacking up on 7-kilometer eggs. If you're trying to hatch some shiny babies or something like that, this would be a great time to hatch eggs and then start stacking up on the 7-kilometer eggs because you're going to be hatching in the 1.75 distance. Wow, that's just amazing. And then the 10K is going to be 2.5 kilometers. Gosh, that is like hatching a little bit over a 2-kilometer egg. That is just fantastic. So then onto the super incubator, which just makes this exponentially sweeter. Guys, I love this. I would never honestly recommend putting a 2-kilometer egg in a super incubator because 0.33 kilometers compared to 0.5, like that doesn't even make any sense. So let's just disregard that. But if you want to know, it's 0.33. As far as the 5-kilometer goes, it's going to be 0.83. I would consider putting a 5-kilometer in a super incubator just because I want to clear those out. 7-kilometer is going to be 1.17. So that's the golden ticket, guys. If you are going to be stacking up on your 7-kilometer eggs, 1.17 kilometers to be able to hatch this egg in a super incubator, which you can have them stacked up as soon as the event hits 4. Then you can put them all on. They'll all be 1.17. Super amazing. And then finally, the grand finale, we have the 10-kilometer egg, which is going to be incubated under the super scenario for 1.67 kilometers, guys. I just can't even fathom that. That's under a regular 2km hatch. So here's 2 strategies for you guys. Number 1, as I've recommended in the past to stack up on those 10K eggs, you could hatch all these and you could have a star piece on, but you could also save them. So it just depends like what your strategy is. Do you like hatching a ton of eggs and you're gonna go hard on these eggs anyway, and then you're gonna stock up for the Stardust event and then hatch your 10K eggs through that with the star piece on because it's going to be super lucrative with the 3 times hatch Stardust? Like that's the number 1 for me. But since we have the distance here and then Yokohama's coming up, there's going to be some exclusive eggs in the event. I'm thinking that I'm going to hatch all of my 10K eggs. Then I'm going to stack up on the 2km eggs for the Yokohama event. And then after that, I'm just going to go crazy walking around trying to hatch and get those 10K eggs so that when that event starts, I can have the 10kms ready for the Stardust.
So it's absolutely insane. So that 1/4 is going to be huge. So the other thing we do have to note is we need to have the Raltses that we're going to evolve. I'm just going to give you a prenup. So if you haven't evolved a Ralts, obviously don't do that. Number 1, if you want to get some candy, which I don't really think is super necessary, you can start number 1 walking a Ralts, but it's 5 kilometers, so it's kind of fruitless. You can put a Ralts, a Kirlia, you can put a Gardevoir and a Gallade in a gym and you can feed it berries to get candy. But like I said, this is more importantly about prepping for getting ready for the event. You're gonna get plenty of candy. and we want to make sure you do that. So number one, I'm going to say right now, because we are approximately a day over a week and a half away from this event, which is coming up very soon, right? They packed these 2 July community days in between the events, so we got to get ready. We got to get ready to go. So we're gonna start already stacking up, right? I would already suggest, because Ralts is rare, right? For me, he's rare. I don't hatch him very often. He's out sometimes on cloudy days, but he's rare. Super powerful. Gardevoir is an amazing fairy attacker. You definitely want to have a good quality Gardevoir. So start with your Ultra Balls. Start going around. Stop throwing Ultra Balls at crazy things. Pack your bag with Ultra Balls right now. Aim to get like 2, 3, 4, 500 Ultra Balls. Just focus on that. Use your Great Balls to catch. Use your Pokeballs to use your Gotcha, your Plus, or to catch, and just stock up the Great Balls. The second thing I'm gonna say is start stacking up on your Pineapple Berries right now. If you don't have enough, now is the time to do so. There is never a better time to have Pineapple Berries than going into Ralts community today, especially now that we have Charm, right? So getting onward, right? We need to have Sinnoh Stones. So what does that mean for you? Do your 3 battles per day to get Sinnoh Stones, because Gallade will evolve with a Sinnoh Stone from only a male Ralts, right? So you're going to need to have a male Ralts with a Sinnoh Stone, so you're gonna need to do your 3 battles per day. These are very practical tips, guys. And then also, the other thing that I'm gonna suggest doing is, if you don't have enough coins, right? You put your Pokemon in a gym at least once per day, and I would suggest doing it towards the end of the day, maybe around 10. So then you have the entire night to gain that 8 hours, so that when you do get kicked out, you get your 50 coins, so that you can at least buy a community day box if you need to have incubators and other things like that. So now let's check out what potential moveset could be coming to Pokemon Go for the Ralts community day. So hypothesized by Mr. Matt Fitz, who is a amazing Pokemon Go player. Super appreciate Matt. He is hypothesizing, and he's been right on 90% of the community days, that the Ralts will be getting the evolution into Future Sight. So if this is true, because both of them are psychic, the Gallade is fighting psychic, the Gardevoir is fairy psychic, Future Sight would put the Gallade at a better psychic attacker than the Mewtwo with Psycho Cut. So, wow, that's pretty powerful, guys. So if Future Sight is the moveset, you are definitely going to want to stock up. So we're gonna check out what the credentials are for the Future Sight potentials for the Gallade and the Gardevoir right now.
So now we're going to check out the differentials for the Gallade, the Gardevoir, and everything else if we get this Future Sight move. So Psychic right now is okay, right? So if we look at here, obviously we're going to compare it to the Mewtwo, because Mewtwo is the Psychic and it is the premier Psychic attacker, even though it doesn't have Future Sight, which would be the best moveset for it. But let's start here. So the Gallade, Confusion, Future Sight, DPS 15.05, TDO 575. You guys know about that if you've been with me for a while. For the DPS times TDO at a 1964.75, which is pretty cool, right? The Gallade with the Confusion Psychic, which is currently out there, is 16.43, so it's definitely a humongous step up from where we're at. And the Gardevoir is really used for the Fairy, honestly, guys. So although it's going to get Future Sight and it's going to be a legacy moveset, I would definitely get some Gardevoir with it, but you're going to have to unlock that Fairy moveset, because the Fairy moveset is just the Gardevoir specialty. And Fairies, there aren't too many super incredible Fairy attackers, and Gardevoir definitely is top of the pack with the Togekiss. So Gardevoir with the Confusion Future Sight is TDO times DPS at 1264. So if we're going to compare it to the Mewtwo, Mewtwo with Confusion Psychic is going to have a DPS of 1655, TDO 518 for a total of 2351. So this is Confusion Psychic. Remember I mentioned for the Psycho Cut Psychic. So for the Psycho Cut, which I honestly like that move better because it's quicker, doesn't necessarily mean anything else. It has a DPS of 15.582, which is above the Gallade. It has a TDO of 487, which is below the Gallade, and then its TDO times DPS is 1845, which is surpassed by the Gallade by over 100 points at 1964. So it definitely holds some weight. However, that Confusion Psychic Mewtwo is definitely better, obviously, than the Gallade, but it's a good close second, and we're going to have a ton of candy. So if you catch a level 35, it's going to be a great option for you guys. The other thing I do want to note, that if Mewtwo ever happens to get the Future Sight, it is going to be the obviously premier psychic attacker based on his stats. His stats are absolutely incredible. So that's what I just wanted to point out with you guys. Make sure you guys are prep ready. You know what's coming. So let's continue onwards.
So this is what we're doing. We are stacking our coins up. We are getting our Sinnoh Stones. We are stacking them up. We are also getting ready with the Pineapple Berries and the Ultra Balls because you want to get as much Ralts candy as you possibly can. You're going to be evolving into Gardevoir as well as the Gallade. So that is our primary focus right now, guys. Focus on building up. We have a little bit over a week and a half, 1 day over to start getting ready. These are the top tips to get you ready, and it has to be a male Ralts. You need to see that sign to be able to get that Ralts all the way into a male, which means you're going to have to play harder. 4 to 7 p.m. August 3rd. I'm going to see you guys out there. I know you're going to be prepped because you're going to have over 200 Pineapple Berries. Get it. You need it. You're going to have over 300 plus Ultra Balls. You got to be ready. You got to be ready to catch as much as possible. You're going to have your bag cleaned out. Everything's going to be ready to go. Start trading your Pokemon that you need to trade that you've been saving up with people. Maybe if you have extra Mudkip, clean out your bag. 300 plus spaces at least. You want to get as many of these shinies as you possibly can because you need a male and female shiny. So be prepped, be ready. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all my supporters, my likers, my subscribers, my commenters, and my Patreon members. I will see you guys out on the next video. Peace.
I just wanted to take a moment and sincerely thank every single person that decided to take their subscription and their support to me to the next level as a small channel, and really trying to grow and hit new levels and be able to travel and really meet up with a lot of my fans and the communities around the world and the US especially. I just want to say that your support really means a lot to me. It helps me out, and I greatly appreciate you for being a part of the Trainer Club. Thank you so much.